You are a B2B service-based business owner and you are looking to gain more clients, create more impact and more revenue in your business. Tune in to Amplify Your Marketing Message with Campbell Rapin. Every week, we're going to take you through how to build an audience of buyers, mastering your marketing message, and making offers that convert consistently. We'll see you all on the inside. Welcome back, everybody, to Amplify Your Marketing Message. I want to ask you a question today, and I will tell you I'm coming with you two on fire today. Are you confident that you're the person people will say yes to? That means they have trust in you as a business owner to deliver the results. Well, my friend, results are all that matters. And whether you can predictably curate and experience results comes down to math. Yep, I said it. Business is math. And I'm seeing so many business owners put their head in the sand about the business math that this is the wake-up call I needed and felt compelled to come to you today to talk to you about. If you want to be the person people say yes to, it's because they have confidence and certainty that your business is credible, delivers results, and will be here, not just today, but 6 months from now, a year from now, 18 months from now. And the only way that you will be certain, capable, and confident that you will be here is if your math works out. The numbers never, ever lie. They're not tied to the effort. They only indicate the results. The same way that your client only cares about results. And so if you want to be the must-hired choice in the world of business, you need to take care of the math. And there are 3 key areas that we're going to talk about today in terms of business math that you need to have an intimate relationship with. And if you're listening to this and cringing as we talk about the business math, and you're one of the many business owners who puts up their hands and says, I don't do math. Well, I'm going to tell you that's hugely dangerous. And my invitation to you, if you don't do business math well, come work with me because I do business math great. And it comes to where I first started to learn the importance of business math. And I credit this to my time when I worked with Procter & Gamble. I worked with Procter & Gamble many moons ago. And when I was first hired as an intern and then later brought on board full-time with them after I completed my MBA, I was told, you need to know your business metrics. And don't be surprised if you're standing in the coffee shop lineup, at the canteen at lunch, in the elevator, waiting to go up to the floor you work on, if somebody in the leadership team doesn't stop you and say, hi, I'm so-and-so, what's going on with your business? You need to be able to respond about the business math because we were a very metrics-driven company. And that discipline has really helped me, not just at my time with P&G, but with every other business I've been part of. And that's why I work so strongly with my clients on the fundamentals, because the fundamentals tell us where we are. They are so important from a data set point of view, and ignorance costs you more than you can afford. So let's jump in. The first piece of the puzzle is to understand that there are 2 monetary lines you need to track. And they don't mean the same thing, despite the fact that everyone uses them as one. It's not in your interest to see these as one and the same. The first is the line of revenue. That's top line income coming into your business because of programs and services sold. When you hear all that really noisy chatter in the marketplace talking about 4-figure days, 10-figure months, 100K months, 100K days, all of that is often talking revenue. And it's smoke and mirrors, my friends, because I don't care how much money you made, it's ego. What matters is how much you kept, which is smart. And so beware when somebody floats a number because they're hoping to bamboozle you into believing that they know what they're doing and you should follow them and put money in their pocket. Well, buyer beware, my friends. I don't care how much revenue you make. I want to know how much you kept. And that's why the second number is important, which is profit. Profit is the money left over after all your other expenses and commitments are paid. It's free cash. And that is a really important number, because if you are trying to grow your business and you're trying to get investors, whether that is private investors, bank investors, or other people to bet on you, they want to know, do you have free cash? Without free cash, you are not that interesting. And if you are in the place where you're thinking about exiting your business, and you should always start with the end in mind, what's the exit play? People will want to know, how much profit do you have in your business? Because that's what's valued by a buyer. And you always have to be looking for the buyer. And you know that from here on this conversation we have every week on Amplify Your Marketing Message. So I want you to know, in your business, what's your revenue and what's your profit. And here's how this comes to life. I see so often people, especially the solopreneurs that I'm working with, think that a six-figure business is the goal line, 100K. And I always say, why 100K? And honestly, I'm not tied to what size of business you want to work. And it doesn't matter here if you're listening to the audience, whether you're 50K, 100K, 100 million, don't care. This principle is the same. I want you to listen for the principle. 100K is the revenue line. That's not what you take home. I am a Canadian. I have a Canadian business registered in the province of Alberta. And so I already know that at 100K revenue, I'm going to give corporate taxes in and around 30%. Give or take. So right away, we're taking 30K of the 100K. Now I have 70K. But 70K isn't really the profit, because I have expenses. I have tech expenses. So things like the cost to run my Zoom, the cost to run the podcast, the cost to have an email system, the cost to have a computer, lights, buildings. Those are basic fixed costs that come off the revenue line. And net down the total, maybe now we're at 50K. The other optional thing that I could have is variable expenses, which could be marketing dollars, staffing costs. Those are numbers I have some degree of flexibility, because they are choiceful decisions I can make in my business. And choiceful decisions and the framework of what decisions we make all comes down to your strategy, which is why strategy is my jam. If you don't know where you want to go, how do you know what decisions to make? How can you possibly assess what's good return on investment dollars, time, bandwidth? You can't. So anyway, those are discretionary things. And you might be thinking, oh, I don't have any advertising costs. Maybe you don't pay for SEO. Maybe you don't pay for advertising dollars. But have you ever built yourself a business card? Have you got yourself a logo? You do have some level of marketing costs. And that number, I know from my days with Procter & Gamble, can go from everything from zero to millions very quickly. The goal is to deliver return. So I hope you're checking if you are, in fact, getting return. But after I net off those variable costs, I might be looking at a profit line of 30K. So that 70K I started with got whittled with both fixed and variable costs. Not sexy, right? Also a lot less money you are taking home from your shareholder dividends or your salary. So when people say I want a 100K business, when I do that with them, I have a whole bunch of people that maybe just like you sitting listening right here, right now, go, wow, I don't have as much left as I thought at 100K. And that leaves you two choices. You need more revenue, option A. Option B, maybe I should get a job because I make more take home, less stress, less return in bandwidth if I work instead of build a business. That's option 2. Totally cool. But I want you to know that all of this is math. It's simple data that guides your decision. And profit and revenue are the most important top line that you need to keep in your eyesight every single week. And at minimum, you should be reviewing and course correcting monthly. But after that, what happens next? Well, it's not just about the big picture. I want you to fund the day-to-day, which is where we talk about cash flow. And watching your cash flow is sometimes the biggest struggle for a small business, because money coming in and money coming out doesn't always flow in sequence or in direct parallel. And some of the most common misconceptions or problems I see is that small business owners think that money in the bank is money to play with. And it's not always the case, because you should be setting aside money for taxes, money to pay your basic fixed expenses, and then decide if there's money left over, do we have money to play with in the discretionary spending? But free cash flow is the money left over when all the commitments are already made. And so if you are account and you have an account, a type of business that you take prepayment, one of the most dangerous things I see people do is spend the money today before they've earned it. That's super, super dangerous, because I don't know a business owner around, myself included, who's not reached a point in an agreement with a client where somehow you want to walk away. And you do. But walking away has costs, and often that can mean refunding money. But if you spent what you already used, it can create a cash crunch. Or you have to front load money to pay for something to be created on the hope it creates money. So, for example, investing in course program development, videos, and content before it actually generates revenue. Well, that's why cash flow is such a nightmare for so many people. But cash flow is everything. Free, clear money is making you attractive because it gives you choice. And honestly, without free cash flow, you will have a nightmare in your business. And trust me, it will cost you so many sleepless nights. And it's an avoidable problem. But it's by understanding money, it's by understanding math, and understanding that revenue and profit and driving of the day-to-day cash flow are essential pulse checks to your business. Are you thriving and cash rich? Or are you on life support, sucking oxygen because you've overextended yourself? Those are really driven by the day-to-day decisions, which goes back to your strategy. Strategy is the inherent framework that drives your decision making. So the third most important thing that you need to be tracking is, of course, what fuels revenue, what fuels profit, what fuels cash flow. Clients. Oh my goodness, it's so important that you never lose sight that everybody's job, from the CEO down to the people in the very front lines, their number one job is sales. Bringing in new clients is everything. And that's why my whole business is about creating client growth engines. And we track the data and we use the math to make decisions in our business. That's what I do with my clients in the Business Scale Accelerator. That's what we are there for, is to be the business brain. And when we're talking clients, two things drive clients in the next period of time. Remembering it takes time for clients to go from curious to paid client. So you must have a tracking mechanism on the numbers. First piece of the puzzle is you've got to be in front of more people, more ways, more often, who are buyers. If you are in the wrong room and they can't afford you, don't want your services, or aren't ready yet, you'll run into a cash flow problem, my friends. Getting in front of the buyers and being able to identify the buyers is everything. It's the number one thing people come to me to work with, because they honestly are saying, I don't really think I got that nailed. You probably don't. Let's get it nailed, because getting it nailed means we're going to turn on the fuel to fire up the engine, which means positive cash flow. We're going to structure your offers to give you profit and, of course, more revenue to take home and support the life you want. Buyers are the first piece of that. Second piece of that is, if you don't make offers, you will not have revenue. You will never, therefore, have profit and no cash flow. And truthfully, we overestimate how many offers we make. It's every business owner's failing that I've ever encountered. And I often say to myself, oh yeah, it was really recent I made an offer, and then realized, crap, it wasn't. So you're in good company. But keeping this top of mind and keeping the math top of mind, keeping the business numbers top of mind is how you avoid big, big gaps. And an offer is a one-to-one exchange where there's value on the table and a recognition that we can create results by working together. And so if you're listening to this right now and you're going, I don't like math, this feels really uncomfortable, but boy, do I know I need this. And it's making you not immediately go, I know how to do this. Your invitation is really simple. This is the offer. Your invitation is to go to ChristineCampbellRapin.com. That is my business company's website. On there, you're going to go to the Work With Me tab. And I want you to look at what is the right program for you to get the support you need to not just be a business owner, but to be a successful, thriving business owner that creates consistent cash flow, profit, revenue, and client growth. And then the invitation is to have a conversation with me. In that conversation, if we have that there is a good collaborative element, a value exchange on the table, and you believe I can guide you to the result which makes me the right hire for you, I will make you an offer. On that page, ChristineCampbellRapin.com, you will also see guidance to what my programs and services cost. What's the investment level? And I want you to look at that as an investment to return repeating cash flow, revenue, profit, and client growth. Because the long-term win comes down to math. If you change the inputs and you learn to critically think and you build the foundations, you will fire up your engine. It's time to go, my friends. Let's light that fire. Because where we started our journey today in this episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message is I want you to be the must hire. I want your next buyer to have confidence and certain that you will be there. I want you to be clear that you're not just faking it as a business owner. You are a capable business owner, and a capable business owner knows their numbers. They're using the data input to drive decision-making, effectively supporting their strategy. They know when to take a course correction, and they recognize that despite all of the noise in the head, the utter BS barometer is your numbers. You want different inputs to drive different outputs. If you are not already a business that has consistent client growth, and truthfully, I'm watching this in my peer set, we're not talking enough about the data. I learned at Procter & Gamble how important it was to know my business numbers. And me as a discipline, I will show you how this comes to life, because I'm not just talking this at you, I live this today. It's how I've helped create so much success with clients and other businesses I've supported. I have a dashboard that shows me all my key metrics. I update it usually weekly, but certainly every month it does officially a review, and there's a review in my calendar. I have a actually tracking board right outside where I sit in my desk that shows me the lead gen tracking. And in that, it's how many new people am I meeting? How many offers are outstanding? And offers must have a yes or no outcome. And I'm tracking committed revenue and paid revenue, because committed revenue and paid revenue are not the same things. Paid revenue leads to cash flow. Committed revenue means theory. Did you just hear me say that? Because you probably need to rewind. Committed revenue does not equal paid revenue, and only paid revenue equals cash flow. So many businesses are not getting invoices paid. Let's fix that. We fix it through accountability. Accountability is delivered as a client of mine in the Business at Scale Accelerator program. So go to the website, look for which program fits you right now, and let's have a conversation. And if right, I'll make you an official offer. To do that, that will lead to you being the must hire, you having confidence in your business, because you know the math. And the math is certain, it doesn't lie. I'll see you on the inside. That's a wrap on another amazing episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message with me, your host, Christine Campbell Rapin. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss another great episode. And be sure to visit ChristineCampbellRapin.com/podcast to get a free resource on how to master your marketing message. We'll see you all on our next episode.